You know what the Snyder Cut felt like to me? The Fast and Furious movies. Not because of the giant muscle men, or because of the Gal Gadot, or because the movie starts with Steppenwolf stealing DVD players. I think because in the Fast and Furious movies, no main character ever loses a fight. Vin Diesel and The Rock trade manly blows, but when someone is maybe getting close to actually winning the fight, some force outside of their control ends it. Someone pulls them apart, or The Rock sacrifices himself to save his partner, or the ground beneath them literally crumbles. No one ever loses. And apparently, this is the result of contract negotiations and personal assistants that count the number of times their actor gets punched to make sure that their actor throws as many punches too. It's adorable. But it sort of takes the fun out of those fights. We know nobody is going to win and no one is going to lose, so the tension that makes a fight scene interesting does not exist. And sure, in storytelling, we usually know that the good guy is going to win in the end, but during the action sequences, we need a little bit of doubt in our mind. It's a balance. And I think that very same problem also exists in Zack Snyder's Justice League. None of the main characters really win or lose a fight until the very end of the movie. Every fight is either ended by Steppenwolf boom-tubing away, or Superman snapping out of his Kryptonian grogginess and flying away. And some of our heroes are a little worse for wear, but it is not a definitive loss. Say what you will about Batman v Superman, but this is a loss. One winner, one loser. Like, look at this Amazon scene. The Amazons fight Steppenwolf for a bit, and Steppenwolf definitely defeats the Amazons he runs into, but right as the Riders of Rohan show up in the distance and the fight is really about to get going, Steppenwolf leaves. Same in Atlantis. Mira and Arthur fight with Steppenwolf, he gets one really good hit in on Arthur, and then leaves. So there's not a loser. You could say that Steppenwolf wins those fights because he gets the mother box in both situations, but at least for me, this unresolved tension doesn't work. I want someone to lose, to raise the stakes. And nowhere is that more clear than in the first big fight between the heroes and Steppenwolf. In case you forgot, Batman, Wonder Woman, The Flash, and Cyborg go to rescue some of Steppenwolf's prisoners from an abandoned building in Gotham Harbor. Diana and Bruce fight with Steppenwolf while Barry and Victor evacuate the civilians. Diana doesn't do great, but she holds her own. And Bruce manages to kill a few parademons before Steppenwolf destroys the Nightcrawler. Then Diana gets ready to take on Steppenwolf again, but Victor flies in, shoots some missiles at Steppenwolf, and accidentally blows a hole in the side of the tunnel, forcing the heroes and Steppenwolf to retreat. This is only a problem for me, because this fight leads directly into the second half of the second act, where our team begins to solve the Steppenwolf problem, go from passively trying to save people to taking the fight to Steppenwolf. A very good midpoint shift. And the team decides that the best way to defeat Steppenwolf is to use the last mother box, which Cyborg has been protecting as a change machine to bring Superman back to life. And I get it. But at least for me, I don't think the movie has made a very strong case for why they need to resurrect Superman. When you look at both fights between our main characters and Steppenwolf, it really seems like a team of Batman, Wonder Woman, Flash, Cyborg, and now Aquaman could take him. They're all incredibly powerful, some have never really used their powers before, and didn't even know the others existed. So personally, I don't think they needed Superman. And it isn't like reviving Superman is without its own risks. They've never done anything like this before. Who knows how this could backfire? What if Superman wakes up and is an evil murder zombie? What if he can't remember who he is? What if the mother box just explodes and kills all of you? And by using the mother box to revive Superman, the team is alerting Steppenwolf to the final mother box's location. The heroes are taking a huge risk using the mother box to revive Superman. And if the movie is going to have our characters take a huge risk, I think it's fair that the movie justifies why they need to take it. And that comes down to my small change. The one thing I would change about Zack Snyder's Justice League that I believe would justify some of the choices characters make in the second and third act. It's this. Steppenwolf should win every fight leading up to the finale. And I mean win. No retreating before the enemy's able to regroup. We need to use these 3 fight scenes to make the case for why this problem cannot be solved without throwing a Hail Mary and reviving Superman. For example, the Amazon fight has a great start. Whatever the Amazons throw at Steppenwolf, he is easily able to take in stride. Cover him with Amazons? No problem. Collapse a building? Nothing a big jump won't fix. Shoot him with arrows? Spiky flex. But the scene ends with Steppenwolf seeing a humongous army of Amazons over the horizon, showing up to battle a little late, because I guess they didn't get the text. Like, the Mother Box has been acting strange for a while. Why aren't you already there? I don't know. But as they're approaching, Steppenwolf bounces. Peace. And the Mother Box is lost. But why? Why not use this opportunity to show off how strong Steppenwolf is? Instead of retreating, why not have Steppenwolf do a big ground slam thingy with his axe that causes an earthquake? And that earthquake can incapacitate all of the Amazons, and then Steppenwolf leaves. Not a huge difference, but we are creating a more serious threat. And this can also demonstrate a character flaw of Steppenwolf's. He believes he is the greatest warrior in the galaxy, loves a fight, and as long as there's someone to challenge him, no matter whether he's gotten the Mother Box or not, he's going to take a fight. He's got an ego, something that our heroes can exploit in the future. The next Steppenwolf fight takes place in Atlantis. Mira, some guards, and eventually Arthur attempt to stop Steppenwolf from taking the second Mother Box. And this fight does kind of feel structurally more like what you'd hope for from this scene. The parademons destroy the Atlantean soldiers, Steppenwolf knocks out Mira after she almost killed him with her bloodbending. Which reminds me, hey Mira, not to nitpick, not unlike my podcast Mostly Nitpicking, go with Arthur. I know you weren't personally recruited for the Justice League, but you are the single character that has come the closest to maybe killing Steppenwolf in this entire movie. I know you're very busy with Orm in this whole war, but if Steppenwolf wins this fight, you are all dead anyway. So tag along, bring some of those crab people too, they seem very useful. Anyway, right before Steppenwolf kills Mira, Arthur swims in and saves her. He tosses Steppenwolf around a bit, and then Steppenwolf throws Arthur into a column, gores him, and leaves with the Mother Box. Now this wouldn't necessarily need to be a huge change to the scene either. Have Mira come to and find Arthur is mostly dead. Not all the way dead, but mostly dead. And she can use some Atlantean magic to bring him back like she does in Aquaman, but this fight ended like the Amazon fight ended. Steppenwolf left only after he had handily defeated everybody. And then the bigger change to the movie that would be at the midpoint fight at Gotham Harbor. And for this one, I want to introduce a new weapon, one that Diana finds in the crypt with the paintings. Okay, not a new weapon necessarily. Diana tells Bruce the story about the battle for the Mother Box, and Diana explains that Euxis was hit with a weapon that nearly split him in half. Bruce asks, "What kind of weapon can do that to a god?" And Diana says, "This kind." She reveals Ares' axe. It was buried by whoever made the crypt, should Darkseid ever return. And Diana explains, this is a last resort. Why? Because this was the axe of Ares. Anyone who wields it will be overcome by rage. Even I can only use it for a minute or two before I risk being consumed by the axe's anger. Okay, last resort. Cut to the fight. Setup's the same. Diana takes the axe with her and slings it across her back. And it's not super out of character for Diana to use an axe, so I think it fits in well here. Diana and Steppenwolf spar. Flash and Cyborg save civilians. Batman helps out in the Nightcrawler. Diana falls, Barry trips, the Nightcrawler is knocked down by Steppenwolf. Diana knocks Steppenwolf back with her gauntlets, and the team regroups a little. But then, Cyborg flies back in. And instead of landing in the Nightcrawler, Cyborg lands in front of it. He can still control it, kind of like Valkyrie does with her ship in Thor Ragnarok. And Cyborg lets Steppenwolf have it. Unloads all of the bullets and missiles. They all hit Steppenwolf dead on. None damage the tunnel. They just create a huge cloud of smoke. Cyborg also uses his arm cannons to shoot at Steppenwolf, and as he is shooting Steppenwolf, Cyborg walks closer to where Steppenwolf is being shot. But then, Steppenwolf lunges out of the smoke and grabs Cyborg. Now, I know that there was a point in the Joss Whedon rewrite of Justice League where apparently Whedon wanted Steppenwolf to draw and quarter Cyborg. And this was a problem. Ray Fisher said it in an interview like yesterday. Quote, "Had I not been so welcomed in the initial process, I might not have felt as comfortable speaking up about those circumstances. But I had to try to rein those guys in. It was not a good look to essentially pull this black man, who has already endured so much physical trauma, limb from limb." And I get that. However, in this specific moment, I would love for Steppenwolf to rip Cyborg in half. And I'm not trying to single out Cyborg in this situation, but he is the only character who can be ripped in half and not die. Like, I think that moment would be a huge shift. That would be where things get real. I mean, hell, I would love to kill someone here. If I had complete control of this whole universe, I would leave Superman alive after Batman v Superman and kill him here. Just imagine if halfway through this movie, Superman was killed. There would be no bigger raising of the stakes. The heroes lose their big gun, and we learn that Steppenwolf is a threat unlike anything else they've ever faced. But alas, Superman was already long dead, so that's off the table. Anyway, if Ray Fisher doesn't want that to happen to Cyborg, I get it. So let's just have Cyborg get hit really hard and thrown back into the Nightcrawler. This sets off Diana, who realizes that it is now or never. So she takes Ares' axe, and immediately power courses through her veins. Her eyes turn red, since glowy eyes is how you communicate Super Saiyan mode in a superhero movie, and she goes for Steppenwolf. Batman warns Barry, "Get back," and Diana lunges at Steppenwolf, goes for the head. But Steppenwolf catches the axe in his hand. Everyone is shocked. Then Steppenwolf kicks Diana back towards the group, and she is down. Steppenwolf then says, "The weapons of the old gods won't protect you anymore." And then he snaps the axe in half. That creates the shockwave that breaks the tunnel. Then Steppenwolf looks at the team. Barry has been shot, Diana is down, Victor is down. Steppenwolf sees Bruce, Bruce looks at Steppenwolf, and then Steppenwolf laughs. And then leaves. He doesn't even see Bruce as a threat worth fighting. As far as he's concerned, Bruce is already down. And that's my entire change. But look what we have now. We have a team that is truly desperate. They have hit Steppenwolf with everything they had and lost. Big. So now they're left with one option. Revive Superman and see if he can help them fight Steppenwolf. And speaking of comics, you guys know I love comic books. And books, like books, as I call them, but also comics. And that brings me to this video's sponsor, Audible. You guys don't need me to explain Audible to you. Super high level, it is the leading provider of spoken word entertainment all in one place. At Audible, you can find the largest selection of audiobooks and original entertainment from top celebrity creators, and also podcasts. That's right, you can listen to my podcast, Mostly Nitpicking, on Audible. But you know what else they have? Comics. Yeah, I've talked about this once before, but I don't hear nearly enough people mention it, and it is a genuinely super cool thing that you can find on Audible. They have Audible versions of some of your favorite comic stories, like Civil War, or Planet Hulk, or Kraven's Last Hunt. And I know what you're thinking, well, why would I want that? Can't I just read the comics myself? Well, this isn't someone just reading the comic to you. These are full-on audiobooks with huge voice casts and sound effects. The comic is rewritten as an audio drama, so it feels like you're just listening to any other kind of book. So like, I love Days of Future Past. I've read it a million times. And the audiobook version on Audible is still so much fun to listen to. It's a great way to get familiar with a new story for the first time, but it is also a perfect supplement to the comic. A great way to get reintroduced to the story. I listen to Audible when I go for a walk or a drive. Sometimes I'll just listen to it in bed before I go to sleep. It's really convenient. And if you guys want to try this out, visit audible.com/NandoVmovies or text NandoVmovies, NandoVmovies, to 500-500 for a 1-month free trial. That is audible.com/NandoVmovies or text NandoVmovies to 500-500. As always, I have to give a humongous thank you to everyone who continues to support the channel on Patreon, because you guys are the best. If you want to see your name up here, get access to videos early, other cool stuff, throw in literally any amount of money at patreon.com/NandoVMovies. If you throw in $15 a month, you get to be part of the Patreon exclusive book club, where every month we read a comic book and talk about it. This month we read the Teen Titans storyline, The Judas Contract, which is interesting. I've never read it before. Very different from the cartoon show in some ways that are really surprising. I always have a lot of fun doing it. I know there are limited spots available, but I'm sure there's at least a couple there now, at least at the time of recording this video. Also, make sure to listen to my podcast, Mostly Nitpicking, where every week me and my friends DJ and Diggins pick apart a piece of pop culture by looking exclusively at the details. We did an entire episode about the Snydercut, which was very long. We tend to talk about whatever the movie of the week is, so either we are talking about a movie that's in theaters or getting ready to talk about that movie by talking about some of the movies that led to that movie. Like we're currently doing a Road to F9 that's a lot of fun, where we're talking about all the Fast and Furious movies. You'd find that wherever you listen to your podcasts. We are at NitPickingPod on Twitter. Last thing, follow me on Twitter, Instagram, Twitch, TikTok, all that stuff. I'm NandoVMovies on all of those platforms. That's all I got. Stay safe, and I'll see you next time.